Well, everybody, this is the latest Manchester United news. We'll be talking the latest on Joshua Zirkzee potentially leaving Manchester United, as well as Bruno Fernandes exit on the cards. We'll talk a little bit about Mainoo as well and his exit as well in January, requesting a loan move, as well as some other stories as well. But I want to start off by talking about the Joshua Zirkzee and Mainoo exit. Now, there was a story yesterday that came out from, I'll talk about Lisandro Martinez as well. Now, there's a story came out yesterday from Chris Wheeler and Nathan Salt in the Daily Mail, which said Joshua Zirkzee is deeply frustrated at a situation at Manchester United, and a move in January and a move in the January transfer window is seen as absolutely crucial if he is to force his way back into the reckoning Netherlands World Cup squad next summer. So he could be very well someone who leaves Manchester United. He's frustrated. He's been left out of Ronald Koeman's squad for the upcoming qualifier. So he's someone who, again, wants to fight for his position at Manchester United, but ultimately can't do that. And especially the one with Mainoo as well. Napoli have emerged as a favourite to sign Mainoo, and Antonio Conte sees the midfielder as perfect addition. A move to Napoli could also be ideal and offers a chance to play with Kevin De Bruyne, also a familiar face in Scott McTominay. Aston Villa and Newcastle are following the situation and can offer regular Premier League football. Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid also. Mainoo is unhappy with his current situation at Manchester United regarding the lack of game time and feels he is not being appreciated. If the situation does improve, he will ask for a loan exit. He wants to play in the 2026 World Cup. And that is kind of the big thing, especially when it's the World Cup year. Players want to be playing so they have the highest chance of being picked with their national team. Now, one Joshua Zirkzee, he's a player who, again, I've seen a clip where it was Andy Mitten saying that Joshua Zirkzee wasn't kind of the first choice for Manchester United. It was Benjamin Sesko, and ultimately Zirkzee was a second choice. Well, not even a second choice, but someone who was far lower down in the pecking order. Now, you look at Manchester United, we've just gone and reinvested £200 million in a new attack. Now, again, if we were in Europe, that would be absolutely perfect. You can rotate every game. There'd be opportunity for players to come in. But ultimately, with Joshua Zirkzee being a player who is not really... Well, if you look at the players ahead of him, you've got Cunha and Burmo in the 10s. I'll say Ahmad's ahead of him. I'll say Bruno's ahead of him in the 10s. And striker, you've obviously got Sesko. So he's kind of 5th, 6th choice in the kind of number 10s. And he's also 2nd choice in the striker position. Now, again, Amorim said that you don't really rate him as... Not really rate him, but you don't really see him as a number 9. He sees him more as a 10. And that's obviously going to make it very, very difficult. So I can understand why Zirkzee wants to leave. I think there's a very, very good player in Zirkzee. And I remember after when he first made his debut when he had that game against Newcastle, a report after that was saying that he wants to fight for his position at Manchester United. He doesn't want to leave. But ultimately now, with him getting limited playing time, I think he's barely played any minutes this season. He didn't even start the cup game against Grimsby. You kind of do look at him, and his future at United is looking pretty bleak. He's not really many opportunities for him to get any minutes, and I think he's not really guaranteed consistent minutes. Now, again, you could say he fight for his position at Manchester United, but I don't really ever see a place where he's going to dislodge Cunha or Burmo unless they're... You look at the factors of World Cup, he wants to be playing regular game time, and that's similar with Mainoo. He would love to stay and play for Manchester United, but because he's not guaranteed minutes, he wants to look elsewhere, and obviously Napoli are interested in signing him. Now, what I think will happen with Mainoo, I've said this time and time again, I think Bruno Fernandes will leave United in the summer, and Mainoo will become its successor. Now, again, I think Mainoo should be playing more for United. Again, with the one game a week, there is always a lot of problems where does he find a position in this team, but ultimately, I think there definitely is a player there with Mainoo. We know that, we've seen it, so we need to find a position to get the best out of him. I don't want him to leave United. I think he's a very, very talented player, so hopefully he can stay at Manchester United. So yeah, ultimately that's that. Now the next thing, this came in from Indy Cayley, who again, the reliability is a bit iffy, but apparently Bruno Fernandes sale agreed. Baleba and Elliot Anderson are incoming. We understand Bruno Fernandes will be sold to Saudi Arabia for $100 million this summer. The deal is already agreed between all parties, and it seems Bruno Fernandes is waiting to sort out personal terms, which again I don't agree. Well, not that I don't agree with, but I just don't think that makes any sense. For him to leave, for that to be reported, it's just no credibility in it at all. Now, it has been linked from Ben Jacobs. Manchester United want in excess of over $60 million for Bruno. Clubs in Saudi have been made aware. There's nothing going on between Bruno Fernandes future a moment after signing at the moment after signing a new deal a year ago. The interest is from Saudi Arabia and has been active for 3 years, but there's nothing concrete as it stands. Nothing at all at the moment. Full focus on United. New deal was signed a year ago, so nothing concrete at this stage. Saudi remain interested as they've been in the last 3 years, but nothing else for now. So I think Bruno Fernandes is going to stay at Manchester United. I don't think he will leave. I think at the summer it could be a totally different story, depending on how the season goes. But there's not really much stuff we can win. We ain't going to win the league. We're out of the cup. So is another FA Cup for Bruno going to be enough for him to stay? I think he will end up leaving. I think Saudi will come in and ultimately will get him. They've been chasing him for a long time. And he is someone that they want to sign. Ultimately, I think Bruno's a very, very good player and should be staying at Manchester United. But I think if you look at it, he's not someone who is perfect. Is a perfect fit for this system. Great player, one of my favourite players at United right now. But is he the perfect fit for this system? I don't think that he is. Now, some huge news on Martinez. Lisandro Martinez is training on the field and not doing full football work yet, but he's already training with the ball. He had an MRI last week and everything came out perfect. His recovery is on track and he could be returning by the end of October, which again is a huge boost. Having someone like him available is absolutely massive to Manchester United. He's a very, very good player. And I think someone who, again, will be absolutely perfect in this system, playing for Ruben Amorim. He's a player with a lot of talent, potential, and I think ultimately he has that ability to be one of the best centre-backs in the world. And I think when he does come back, it's all about managing his minutes. But I think the left centre-back role is a perfect role for him. He's good on the ball. He can drive the ball through midfield. He's exactly what the left centre-back should be. And I think having someone like him and Lenny Yoro as the two wide centre-backs would be massively important in the build-up play and moving that ball through midfield and progressing the ball. And I think that's ultimately something that Martinez is very, very good at. But let's see what happens. That has been your latest updates. Bruno Fernandes potential exit to Saudi. Bit of contradictory reports. Ben Jacobs saying United wants 60 million for him. Indicator saying the deal's agreed. But Fabrizio, who again is probably the most reliable, saying that no deal has been agreed. So let's see what happens there. On Mainoo and Zirkzee, they look to see exit loan moves in January so they can get playing regular game time so they can be picked for the World Cup squad, which again, you can't fault the ambition from those two players. And also Martinez, he could be returning sooner than expected, which will be good because, as I said, I think he's someone who is a perfect fit for this team. Let me know your thoughts.